it's very much true that people can see, like, you can see somebody else's problem, right? You can look at them and you can say, okay, it seemed like this is the problem, right? But you can't tell your own problem, because it's always easier to look at somebody else rather than to point the mirror at yourself and see, okay, well, what is my problem, right? And I have realized that what a lot of people have plans for your life, right? And they tell you should do it like this, and you need to do this, and you need to be with them. And it's like, if you don't do it, then it's kind of like a problem, or they feel like, well, why you don't do it like that? Why you don't apply that energy to your life? Like, you know, and I don't be trying to be rude, but I just be trying to state facts, because a lot of times we are distracted trying to look at somebody else's life because we don't want to look at our own. And when you have all these plans for somebody else, that is an indicator that you are distracting yourself from looking at your own life. Because why don't you have plans for your own life? Like, y'all don't know how many times people didn't told me to do certain stuff and it just ain't given. It just ain't given. You know what's right for you. I don't care what nobody say. When you really sit back with yourself, you know, you have a feeling, you know what's for you, you know what's not for you. Even if you want to deny it, even if you don't want to accept it, you know the plans that, you feel me, you will have because everybody gets a glimpse of their life. I believe that God, just like he showed Joseph, he gonna show you the end, but you got to work out the process. And you will know, oh, this ain't for me, I'm not supposed to be here, right? Whatever the case may be. But then it's like, a lot of people are people pleasers, and they will never say this with their mouth, but they're always doing that with their actions. And their actions is showing, I want to live up to the life that you placed for me. I want to live up to this expectation or this vision that you gave me, even if it's not who I am, right? Not realizing you are basically dumping yourself, putting yourself last to put them first, to, you know what, I'm gonna live this life that you planned out for me. Not even taking thought, how am I take plans for somebody who ain't even got plans for their own life? Because like I said, a lot of people have plans for everybody else, but they don't have plans for their life. They just going. If a person, people that lack vision, now I'm paraphrasing, where there's no vision, the people perish. When you don't have, think about a GPS. When you know where you going, right, you put the GPS in and you got your destination. But if you ain't got nowhere to go, we just drive it. You can stop here, you can stop there. That means you can go off into a ditch. You can go off into a dead end. You can go off anywhere, because you ain't got nowhere to be. So you just everywhere. You just strolling the streets. Not realizing you can get yourself in a lot of trouble. You can go down some roads, okay? And my point of saying this is, it goes both ways. When you find yourself so focused on somebody else's life, right? Laser focused on what they should do and how they should do it. I see your life. Okay, but what about you? Can you point a mirror and see your life? That may be a distraction. That may be you needing to, okay, I need to back up, because why I'm so consumed with this person and I'm not that person. I can't live their life, so I shouldn't have a vision for their life, right? Number 2, not living up to that expectation of that other person, but finding out what is for me, because we are not all going the same way. And a lot of people get caught up on this worldly stuff that they don't realize everybody you start with, you're not going to end with. And you got to understand that that's okay. Life is a self journey. It's about you getting to where you need to be, and not everybody is going to go, and that's okay. If you want to make it to your destination, you're going to have to let some people off your ride, and that's all right. Like, sometimes people get so caught up with this attachment thing when we don't own nobody. We only experience them. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm off topic, but I feel like I need to bring this up. So yesterday I had watched a movie called Here Is Home or something like that. It's on Netflix. And God spoke to me through that movie. And basically, she had lost. Okay, y'all gotta watch the movie. I'm not gonna explain the movie, but what I got from it, I had wrote this whole little paragraph, because sometimes we can feel like we don't want no new people in, right? No new friends. That used to be me. And even just with watching the movie, I had realized sometimes we kind of block new people from coming in, because we're so used to the old, not realizing, like, if an experience ended, like if a person has left this earth, whatever, that is a experience that God has graced you to be able to experience, right? But once that has ended, it does not mean life has ended. A lot of times when people go or things go, people die. and you don't realize that that was their death date, not yours. You still have life to live. And sometimes we get so consumed with that experience that we don't realize new people coming in is actually a chance to revamp your hope, revamp your strength, to allow you to know that there is still life after death, right? It's not necessarily death, it's just death to that experience. It's time for new experiences, and it's a change. It's a season for everything, right? With that, we have to be able to learn to live in the now. Because I have had a problem. I don't know if y'all like this, but I used to be like this, where I can be at a place, but mentally I'm not there. Right? So it's like physically I'm there, mentally I'm not there, so I ain't never really been there. So once I really, because I think we always feel like a person's gonna be there forever, or whatever the case may be. So we don't really soak up that moment, really get a chance to experience and enjoy that experience. We think it's going to be there forever. So then when it's snatched away, or the season has ended, now we're really grieving, not because the person, right? It could be because of the person, but also because we never really got that chance to experience them in fullness, right? We never got a chance to experience them in a whole, really sat there and really soaked in this moment, because we were everywhere else. And that's why I have learned to live in the moment and stop getting caught up on the next, or what this happened and that happened, not realizing that is part of the enemy stealing your joy, stealing that experience that God has graced you with, because we have this delusion or this fantasy that it's forever, and I'm gonna always have this person to experience this, so I'm gonna take it for granted, not realizing this is not gonna be here forever, because this is a season for everything. It's some people that you will meet that will go the whole way with you, and that's a blessing. I feel like that is literally a blessing. You don't get that very often, so you cherish that. But a lot of people are not realizing somebody's value, not realizing somebody's presence, because they never soak that in that moment. They get this delusion or this arrogant thing of thinking this is forever, when you don't realize life is an experience, and it's experiences, which means it's not going to always be the same person, and nobody's going to duplicate that experience. I had to realize, like, it's some people out here that have duplicates, right? I talked about that. You become common when you out here giving the same energy, same vibe. You ain't nothing valuable. You out here giving what the majority is. But when you have something valuable in your life, somebody that's presence that light up the room, somebody's presence that you feel, and that can give you like a great experience, like a great presence, y'all. I hope y'all had that before. If y'all haven't, too bad for y'all. But y'all need to change your friends. Y'all need to change the people y'all hang around with. But anyway, speaking on that, just learn to soak in that, because that's rare. Okay, a lot of people are out here. We live in this social media world where everybody thinking they the chosen one. Everybody thinking they just, presence is just it. And you get up in there and you be like, somebody didn't lie. Somebody in here telling fibs. But on social media, it looks totally different. Do not let social media fool you. Okay? Because a lot of people are miserable. A lot of people are not happy with themselves. A lot of people are not living the life they claim to live. You feel me? And I'm not really all about saying everybody is a lie, but one thing I have learned to stand on, when you really like secure in yourself, when you're really happy, when you're really at a point in your life, you don't feel the need to flaunt. You don't feel the need to show people. Why? Because it's gonna show. It's gonna be what's understood don't need to be explained. That's why a lot of times when people are trying so hard to paint this picture, it automatically turns me off. It automatically shows me, oh, they not, because what like, I don't even know how to explain it. I just know what I feel. I know what it is, and I just have learned to live like people who just, yeah. It's just not, you don't paint when you don't have to paint. You don't have to try to paint a picture when the picture is already presented. I hope that makes sense, because why would I be trying to paint a picture when I live the picture? But that just goes back to living in the moment. Stop taking things for granted, because a lot of times people are missing out on valuable people and valuable things and valuable experiences that God has graced you to come upon, because they're so in their mind. They're always thinking this is forever, or this is, the grass is greener. That grass is greener. Let me tell y'all, that right there then gave people a run for their money, because sometimes the grass be fake and it be a lie. People be out here searching the world and can't find what they took for granted. And that is a fact. And let me tell y'all can save yourself from fumbling blessings, because it's not all the time that God is going to bless you with a good person like that twice. And that's a fact. It's not all the time. It's not all the time. And with just enjoying it. You feel me? Not realizing you don't own nobody. And that's fine. You gotta, the harder you try to hang on, the faster it's gonna lose. Now, I know I probably said it wrong, but you get what I'm saying. You cannot try to hold on to something so tight that you lose it. It's crazy to me, because I have experienced some things where people will hold on to me so tight, and the more they hold on, the more I wanted to get away. Like, I don't think people feel like, they don't want to feel like they had to be here, or this is a cave, this is a jail cell, I have to stay here. And it's more like it's like, who wants to live like that? You want to be free, and in freedom, I should be able to enjoy you, not feel like I have to be here, because if not, then it's gonna be a problem. Or it just comes so much with it. Like, we gotta stop being possessive. We gotta stop being obsessive and possessive, because we don't own nobody. You don't even own yourself. God says you are not your own, right? So just learn to enjoy the experience. Learn to love. Learn to soak in the moment. Learn to enjoy, because you never know when the season is going to change. And that's not going to say you're not going to have, grief. Anything that you had that is being ripped apart, that's going to come with some emotions. But you can get to a point where you really sat with yourself and be like, okay, at least I had those experiences. At least I can have those memories, right? As far as to, you don't have nothing, because every time you was with this person, you was somewhere else in La La Land. You was somewhere else in the future or in the past, instead of living in the present. That is the significance of living in the moment. A lot of times we get so caught up with the things of the world and the things of the future that we're missing out the most valuable moment, and that is the present moment. We gotta learn to live in the moment and enjoy the moment. That way you can really say you got something from life, right? Because life is all about experiences. We learn through experiences. Not all experiences, not all emotions are going to be good ones, but you still take from the bad ones, okay? So with that being said, learn to live in the moment. Learn to really truly appreciate what God has graced you to experience, who graced you to come upon, because nobody's going to duplicate that same experience, and you don't want to miss out on what God was trying to teach you or plant in you in that season, because you were somewhere else. You allowed the enemy to steal something God was trying to give you in a moment, in a season. So be present. Do not be in La La Land. Stop worrying about tomorrow. Tomorrow has its own troubles. Don't worry about yesterday. Yesterday is over. It's nothing we can do. Stop living in the past. You cannot expect to move forward in life if you're too busy looking in the rearview mirror. You got to understand the rearview mirror and the window shield, the size is completely different. Why? Because it's not meant for you to keep looking back. It's maybe for you supposed to look in the rearview mirror to what? Look on lessons, to see how far you came, but not to be dwelling there. Because you got to understand what you focus on, you're going to continue to get. You want to continue to get your past. You can't blame nobody but yourself, because you won't take out your mind. You don't want to live in the present. You don't want to worry about moving forward, but you want to keep thinking about back there. It's nothing back there. Your latter days will be better than your former days. Ain't nothing back there for you. So let go of the past, move forward, live in the present.